No Chill Sports is an unapologetic, high-energy sports show where opinions fly fast and facts hit hard. The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the hosts and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated networks, sponsors, or partners. Content may include passionate debates, bold predictions, and unfiltered takes that some viewers may find intense or controversial. Listener discretion is advised. If you're looking for chill, this ain't the place.
Welcome back to another hot episode of HBCU Hour, where the legacy lives loud and the culture takes center stage. From the gridiron to the hardwood, we shine a spotlight on the soul of Black college sports. This ain't just coverage, it's a celebration. Man, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We got a fun one. Got some heavy hitters in the building. Some of my compadres, people I've got to know very well over the years, looking to break down what is important, what we think is important when it comes to branding and HBCU. So without further ado, man, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. But first, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsor over at Kelly Creations, and we will be back in 1 minute. Your brand deserves more than basic. It deserves bold. It deserves clean. It deserves Kelly Creations. From screen prints that pop to embroidery that speaks volumes, to picture tees that tell your story, Donald D.K. Kelly does it all. Give him a call today at 225-202-2625 or shoot him an email at kellycreations225@gmail.com. That's KELLYKREATIONS 225@gmail.com. And don't forget to tell them No Chill Sports sent you. Kelly Creations. Nobody does it better. Ladies and gentlemen, we got ASAP Visuals in the building, Mr. Austin Robinson. From Marks Media, Mr. LeBaron Marks. The voice of Alabama A&M, Mr. Dre, the voice, the board. And the man himself, Abrion Scott, Mr. Off Script. Gentlemen, thank y'all for joining me this evening.
Appreciate you for having me, man. Appreciate you for
Hold on. I normally, it's a two-man operation. It's kind of hard to get things done when you by yourself sometimes.
Now, out of all the photos,
hey, listen, I was searching, and I was like, I could easily just text him and say, hey, send me a photo. I said, but no. I said, I don't do that with nobody else. Listen, I'm going to tell you a story. We had the assistant AD of LSU on one time. I went and found a photo of him playing football at LSU in the 80s and put it up there. He was like, where in the hell did you find that? Listen, I could have been a private eye in my former life.
I said, Lord Jesus.
Nah, man. I was about to work some AI magic. I was like, nah, we ain't gonna do this.
That 3D off script jank was tough though. I like that. I need to get that. That was hot.
I'll say that to you. But fellas, man, first off, man, it's been a minute since I seen most of y'all. How everybody been? Not all everybody at once. Some of y'all been busy. doing some content. Some of y'all. It's never an off season with most of us in here. So, but man, how's everybody been, man? I guess we can start with Dre, because I guess that's the order on the screen.
Man, all is well, sumptuously blessed, man. My family is doing well. I'm doing well. Just in the lab right now, getting my words together, thoughts together, just gearing up for next season. I'm excited for all the things that is to come for next season, and just for all the hype for HBCU football, basketball, just sports in general. I'm just gearing up just to make sure my message aligns to where everyone knows that we need them.
That's a good segue. Baron, man, how you been, man? I know you working on things. It's like I said, it's off season, but it ain't the off seasons.
Right, yeah, this the time to grind. So really just been coming up with ideas. Football season roll around quick. So me and the associate ADs, AD Ruffin and Aaron, head coach, we just been kind of coming up with some ideas, getting ready for football season, man. It's gonna be interesting. Should be a good one.
All right, Mr. ASAP, Mr. Austin, what's good, man? How you been?
Everything's good. Just kind of revamping the team, getting them ready, just preparing for the season, trying to just come up with new ideas, new ways to be petty in the swag. And you know how that goes.
Yeah, we gonna kick that off on Monday. We gonna start with the MEAC, but we gonna kick it off though. I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Scotty.
Man, listen, I second my man Austin right here. Just trying to come up with new ways to be petty. But me, I can't. My petty and the swag petty is different. So trying to balance that out. But no, just trying to do some things at A&M that haven't been done before. That's big. That's been my biggest thing, is just trying to be innovative as God leads me to be in, and go from there, man. So. But I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the being on with you gentlemen. I know Austin and Dre personally. So Banks, nice to meet you, bro. And if anybody watching this is the GOAT right here, the one next to me right here. That's the man right there. He the guy. He the guy. I don't give props to a lot of people, but that boy, he's a bad boy right there. He a bad boy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So, and I kind of talked to Dre about this a little bit before the show. I ain't gonna tell everything about Dre what I told you, but the idea behind this show, and kind of when we'll talk, me and Ant were just talking about different things. We talked Monday with we had Mo on. We were trying to have Dr. Cavill and BJ on as well, talking about kind of the state of HBCU athletics. Well, I want to talk about the other side of that and talk about how do we market HBCUs to everybody, talking about branding. And when I think about branding, I can't think of people I know personally or have met personally. I can't think of four gentlemen who aren't better at doing that than you four gentlemen that I have here tonight. Dre, like I said, me and my son, we've gone to football games and basketball games, other places, and he's quoted stuff you said at A&M games, because it flows so naturally. Baron, when I think about like videos, you and Austin, both of y'all representing schools and seeing how y'all market, saying Tuskegee, Jackson State, and the other schools that you've worked with, it's hard not to realize, saying the potential that our schools have. And then you, Scotty, everybody knows and talks about all the different things that you've done, whether whether they like, like, love it, hate it, indifferent, the brand is there. You cannot dispute that. I want to know, and I don't know if y'all want to flip a coin and see who takes it first. I want to know some of the things that because like Dre, you said in the opening, you're thinking of new catchphrases, thinking of new ways to to market. What are some things when you think of brand? What does it mean to you?
Well, I'll go first. Like you said, I try to with my slogans, right? I try to make it to where the consumer, I'm gonna say the consumer, the fan, feels like it's their slogan. It's not my slogan. I want them to catch on to it. I want them when they see that moment, the first thing that comes to their mind is the slogan, is the brand, is the moment. I want that moment to be captured into that slogan to where the moment becomes so big, you know what I mean, that that slogan can have its own character. It can have its own storyline. It can have its own photo. You know, that's why I try to build taglines for every single moment. There's a tagline for different moments in the football game, basketball game, opener, closer. Because again, I want the fans, the family, the everyone to feel like it's their team, it's their slogan, it's their time. It's they have a say so per se, you know, with that slogan. I want them to put their twist, their attitude, their love, their passion into the slogan because that's the best way to build a brand is by word of mouth. So if you can create something that they can hold on to, like a slogan, a name, a t-shirt, a hat, or something, they're going to share that with every person they come in contact with and show their passion for that brand, not for the team, but for the brand.
Yeah. I don't know who want to anybody want to come after that or say something.
I think for me, when you're talking about branding, I always thought about authenticity, right? Like it has to feel, people have to feel you, and you have to be who you are, right? Like, um, I don't want to speak for Austin, but what I loved about what Austin did is he didn't do Bucky, he did Austin. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you can tell the difference between what Jackson was before Austin and what it is now with Austin, right? So it's like that authenticity of who you are comes through what you do, right? So if we're talking about off script, you know what you're gonna get with off script. You know it's either gonna be raw, you're gonna hate it, you're gonna love it, but in some part of faction, you feel like you have to watch just because I want to know what Scotty is going to say, or I want to know what they're going to talk about, or I want to know who's going to call in, right? So my biggest thing when I was building the brand of off script was I said, I'm gonna do it my way. And however that comes off, and I'm gonna just be authentically myself. So I think when you're building a brand, in any form of faction, the authenticity of that institution or the people leading it have to come out so people can feel that. That's my biggest thing.
I think for me it was really about number one, just giving a damn. Like it starts there. And then you start to work with other people that you see like, okay, we need to match the same energy. And so I think I kind of just set the tone when I first got there and just to say, hey, like this is gonna be a different look. It's not gonna be the same quick stuff. But even though that's still good, but I wanted to kind of like establish like a brand that where people can take us seriously when it comes time for media. And then maybe that's contagious to everybody else. And it seems to me that like that's where it really started at. I can say when I first got there the first year, and I can say this out loud now, I was definitely looking across the swag media uh, platforms and looking at like FAMU, looking at like Alabama State, how consistent they were just with just putting stuff out. And so taking the quality from FAMU and like consistency with them, I was like, okay, let me match that energy. And that's exactly what I did. And then it just comes to like getting your team invested. Cause I had like I've had like really good students who said, okay, I'm a care. All right, we see what Austin's vision is. Okay, we see the accolades, we see like how people are paying attention. So now it's contagious. Now it goes across the board with other sports. And so that's what I think HBCU branding does for us. It forces everybody else to get better. And I think that we're doing a good job and we're going the right direction. I think we do still need to clean up some stuff, but it does come back to like resources and understanding like the athletic program, they need to give a damn. Like they need to invest into that. And I think that we're on the right path for that. And you're starting to see like sports that we never got content from, like they're starting to pop out with content, and it looks good. And so once people see that, they understand like the kids from California, the kids from like Delaware or somewhere like away from Mississippi, they can see that without coming down here. They can see the culture, and I think that that's the most important recruiting tool as well. And so when you put those two together, I think we can have a better brand of media, and then also a better brand of like competition, and that's what you're starting to see now.
And to piggyback off that, like you say, it's just giving a damn. And lucky for me, I'm in D2, so we're a little different than you guys. You guys have a little more resources than we do. And being in the conference that I'm in is really it's Tuskegee and Morehouse. Like, I mean, when you talk about, I've been blessed to be at a school that has a brand like Tuskegee, because Tuskegee is known everywhere. You know what I mean? And so having an athletic director like Ruffin, who basically just lets me do whatever I want to do, it's opened up. I mean, because being a creative, it's hard to go into a place and then everybody just stop. You have to go through 10 different people to get something approved. You know what I mean? Like that's like, that would deplete you. Like, you will hate working out if you got to do all of that. So that's a big part for me. Like I say, in the fan base that we have, like at Tuskegee, I mean, it's like y'all's. Like, it's nationwide. Like, you can go anywhere. We went to California, and I mean, man, the LA alumni, I mean, huge. So for me, it's just basically kind of piggybacking on some of the niche stuff that they're doing on social media this year, and just kind of having a consistent brand like through all the sports.
And I want to piggyback off what he said. I've been blessed to work up under TC. And like, I think initially, like, TC was like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. But then it got to the point where I ain't hear from him. I didn't know if that was a good thing or bad thing. But then, like, he just let me create. I don't really have no pushback. I understand like what needs to be put out, what don't need to be put out. And I think he just kind of trusts me to rock the boat with this and to steer in the right direction where we need it to be at. And so that helps them out with recruiting too. Like, imagine, like, you have to really kind of game plan and say, okay, I need all these angles in case one of my students miss. And so if they miss, I got it. If I miss, they got it. And so like, you have to kind of make sure that the head person in charge trusts you for that vision. And I think that that's the most important thing as well.
Yeah. So that kind of leads to the next thing I want to talk about, telling our narrative. When you talk about, you guys have a vision and you kind of got that support to kind of put that story out there, put that, put those visuals out there, tell that story, come up with the catchphrases, be authentic. When we, first of all, anytime we hear something about an HBCU, it's never Jackson State, Howard, Norfolk State. It's always HBCU. At PWIs, we know they're always looked at as individuals. So when we talk about telling our story, a lot of times what you put out, although you may be putting it out for Jackson State and it's marketing Jackson State, it is basically, it's a representative of HBCUs as a whole. So I don't know who want to jump on this one first. Pause.
This is crazy.
But when we're telling our story, what are some of the key things that pop into your head when you are being creative and you are thinking about, I want to put this out, but I want to tell this and have this vision, and I want people to see my vision. What's some of the creative things or things that you keep in the back of their mind?
I think for some schools, it's what fits your theme, right? Like, some schools are super conservative. Some schools they push the envelope, they push the narrative, right? They're okay with being close to the edge. So I think it has to fit your narrative, but at the same time, I think a lot of HBCUs are reactive instead of proactive. right? Of proactively getting their story out or proactively telling what they are about. And I think a lot of that needs to come to the forefront of, hey, tell what is your school, right? Not trying to be anything other than what you are, and showing that in its own form. Because again, there's things about every institution that makes it unique and makes it different. And I think that's the thing when you talk about, when people say HBCUs, they put you in a big bucket. But when you start talking to alums, they always say there's a flavor for everybody, right? Like there's a school for whoever you might need. Like, so if you if you a FAMU grad, it's different than Southern. If you went to Jackson, it's different than Alabama State, and Alabama A&M is different than Valley. They all have their own ecosystem. So trying to express that and get that message and narrative out is being proactive. And like Austin and Banks said, like giving a damn. You got to care about how people are viewing your institution or your athletics or any of those things, right? So it's just it's okay with that. And then understand, listen, I know people won't agree with me, but I'm of the firm mind of all publicity is good publicity in the form of an institution, because sometimes everything ain't gonna be positive. That's just what it is. But how do I take whatever's coming my way and how do I flip it for my benefit, good or bad? And learning how to do that is where you take that PR to another level of, yeah, this is going on with us, but we also got this. We also do this. We've done this. We've accomplished this. So just little things like that. But again, I'm a little on the off the cuff, off the beaten path. So
I think it's like when I think about like how I approach different things, you just got to pay attention. And so even last year, like I'm gonna piggyback off Scotty a little bit. Remember when Swag Media Day, a coach said that they had the best team. I took that personally. And so you have to think about those types of things. But that kind of led to the Swag Championship. Like there's a lot of build up towards that. And so you got to pay attention to like what's going on. Like even with the Alabama State Jack State game, like that was probably one of my best, like favorite, probably most intense game ever, just shooting, because everything was on the line for that game, and which kind of goes into like creating content. So y'all seen it where like the NBA will put a trailer up of like an epic like battle, and like I figured like, okay, this is a good time to put like the last drive or the scoring drive, then the last drive with Alabama State, even though it had a bunch of Alabama State clips in there, but it was telling the story of how we got to that point. Mm-hmm. And then trying to like select the music. How does that pull you in? How does that make the screen comes closer to your eyes? And so those are some of the things that I like to do when it comes time for telling a story. And that made a lot of people like, oh, they gave me a heart attack. Oh, that's all they were saying in the comments. Like, they gave me a heart attack. But now you get to relive it by me producing something else. So it'll be forever there. And so that's what we got to understand. Even 10 years down the road, you can always go back to that video and be like, man, that was like a great game.
And great shot. Can I piggyback off what my boy Austin is saying, is that those storylines matter, right? Like when the old coach from A&M came back from Jackson and came back to A&M, like you got to big that up. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than if you remember when Jackson was playing Southern and they had that last second touchdown, and all you have to, like, again, the same thing that College Game Day and ESPN do for the big schools, we can do for the smaller schools, because one, we have the longer history, right? Like these are historic games. Like when Alabama State and Tuskegee played, Tuskegee got clips of us whooping your ass. Like we've been whipping you. So if they want to play them, happily play them clips, right? And again, it builds the narrative, right? What also talking about where, when Dion and Eddie Robb at the front and they shaking hands, like it start there and it grew and it's growing, right? So those are part of what makes HBCU football great, but you have to embrace the attention. You got to embrace that. You got to love it because ESPN don't shy away when Ohio State and Michigan got in the fight. That's going to be on the next game the next year. They're going to play that. But we don't. Oh, we don't want to show that, and we don't want a negative image, and we don't. No, that's athletics. That's sports.
It's funny you say that. My bad, Drake. The same week that Bethune-Cookman Grambling got into a fight, there was a big fight. I think it was ULM. No, it was ULL and like Texas State or somebody, whoever they played that week. They had a fight, and it was it wasn't even in the locker room in the middle of the field. Big fight. Nobody talked about it. But I saw the Bethune-Cookman Grambling fight. So that goes back to that narrative. Go ahead, Dre.
Nah, I think we hit on one of the key topics, I believe, in my personal opinion, and that's the storytelling. I don't think we capitalize for real in all aspects of storytelling because there are multiple ways and narratives, like you were saying, Scotty, that a story can be told. It can be built on. It can be creates its own pulse, like you were saying, which then creates a whole catapult into anticipation, right? Because that's the main thing when you come for the storytelling is the anticipation of the cliffhanger, the anticipation of how it's going to end, the anticipation of the climax. What is the climax? Sometimes the climax may be a halftime. It may be who's going to throw the first touchdown, who's going to make the biggest play, who got the most fans in the stands, who is so many stories inside a game that I feel that there just needs to be an overall, hey, what's our story for this year? And what's our sub stories for this year? What's going to be our PR for good and bad? How are we going to handle bad? How are we going to handle good? So we know how to, like you said, Scotty, capitalize, because PR is also, a way to capitalize on the story, on the narrative, because you may have a bad story that happened in the middle of the season, but that same story may be the key that changed your whole season to where everything else just started clicking. So how do you tell that bad story to turn it into good? How do you take that bad PR and turn it into good? And also, real quick, the subliminals, like you're saying, how can we feed the subliminals to healthy competition, to that healthy fanship, to that healthy, hey, we need to be there to witness it, not hear about it. How can we tell that story? How can you send those subliminals to where people be like, you know what? I gotta be in the building. I want to be a part of the history. I want to look at those reels and see if I see myself in there. You know what I mean? That's where I feel we're touching on a major topic with the vision. What is the overall vision for the season? What's the overall visual vision for that program? Those different things.
Yeah. Baron, before you go, Marvin Mackey asked a question. He says, what will it take to get athletes to HBCUs, meaning NIL, facilities, campus space, stadium location? And then he also kind of says, how will that fit in when trying to persuade kids to HBCUs?
I can kind of answer that one. I think, obviously, where HBCUs, we're always going to be an uphill battle with NIL. That it is what it is, unless Oprah start coming out here just giving out millions of dollars or whatever.
Y'all looking at the wrong one. It's Mackenzie Scott. I keep telling y'all.
Or Mackenzie Scott. But I think for us, I think it still goes back to the brand. You have to sell the culture. Like what is A&M's culture? What is Jackson State's culture? What is FAMU's culture? Everybody has something different that we have to sell, that we can sell. But at the same time, like as soon as they get on campus, you gotta show the Southern hospitality. Like you have to do that. You have to show them that like they're in good hands. Even with the parents, you're selling to the parents. Because kids love the media stuff, so that's not a problem. Like you can sell that to where like if you do your part, and that's what I tell all my players that be in the facility. If you do your part, I'm gonna capture it. but you got to do your part. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, did you get this clip? Blah blah blah. Like, what did you do in this clip? Were you impactful? It's easier for me to follow the ball, and if you're in the play, you're in the play. I got you. But if you're just like standing around, and obviously that kind of comes back to like having resources, like because PWIs they'll have like 8 different videographers, 8 different photographers. So there's not an angle that you're gonna miss. And then on top of that, they got like 10 different students. So they're doing so much and they record so much for every game. So you have to understand that. So exposure, selling the culture, and I think that everything will play for itself. But I think the caveat in that is once we're doing all this, like our athletic program got to be able to sell that idea that we capture the culture. Like, and that's how you generate other revenues of money, like coming into the program. So you have to sell the culture, because if you don't have nothing to show for it, why am I donating 6 figures? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I donating anything if I can't see what you're producing or what you're actually doing? So a lot of the players, like, they do come in and they see the culture, and they, as soon as like they say, hey, I'm visiting Jack State, like our fan base is helping too, because they're showing a lot of love. And so that kind of like ties into everything. Everybody has to do their part when it comes time for recruiting. Show these kids love, because they might. I remember a kid. I'll give you an example. I remember a kid came through, and one of the reasons why Jack State caught their eyes was just because of me shooting. They saw like exactly what I was shooting, the stories that we were telling. And I think this was during the championship year, and that's why he took the. That's why it's more important to kind of figure that out, of like, again, branding, again, telling a story, again, everybody tying in and selling the culture. And I think that will work out for bringing more recruits in.
And on that note, like even with Tuskegee, like I emphasize to the student athletes, like they're the biggest mouthpiece that we have. Like, so whenever we post something on the page, all of them need to share it. I don't care what program, I don't care if you're in softball, baseball. If you're a Tuskegee student athlete, you need to share this stuff, because I mean, ultimately, like we say, the culture is unrivaled. Like going to a Jackson State game, an A&M game, a FAM game, like I mean, the culture and the atmosphere is unrivaled. But when we start talking NIL and we start talking money, I mean, it's only so much we can do. You know what I mean? So to be 100% honest with you, it's just going to be, I think in this day and age, HBCUs have almost turned into JUCOs. And I mean, because when they come, and the crazy part about it, it's not even the HBCUs. Ohio State and Oregon are stealing players from Alabama and Auburn. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's just HBCUs. We're talking about these other big schools are stealing players from other big D1 schools. So I mean, it's just gonna be an uphill battle. We just have to continue to do what we're doing, and then like I tell Tuskegee, if we're winning championships back to back, over and over, back to back, they're gonna come. We're gonna get good kids, and we just have to ship them out and get the next batch in. It's really nothing else to do at this point. Like I say, when you got Cam Coleman leaving Auburn to go to Texas, like I mean, it's tough. Like it's tough.
I think you can't every school, unless you're part of the Big Five or Big Six, is a stepping stone. So you have to look at yourself as such, right? But again, every kid is not going to be a part of that stepping stone. That's just not realistic, right? Because that's why you have 20,000 kids just still staying in the portal. But for me, I agree wholeheartedly with Austin. So you got to sell your program. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to sell your program. Now, again, the institution that I'm currently at, did they have a good season last year? No, they did not. But I was talking to a student that was recording last year, and I was like, yo, what happened to the dog days? Like, they were doing like kind of like a documentary style. And he was like, man, we started losing, so I stopped recording. I said, that's when you want to record. Like, because you got to show your fans who your coach is to try to get it back on track. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how you connect with whomever you're going through, is that, yo, man, I like the way that coaching. Like, I don't know what's going on. Thank you, sweetheart. I don't know what's going on, but I like the way he bringing it. I like the way he doing this. I like the way he doing that, right? So it's you gotta you gotta kind of flip your mindset when it's in sports. Like everything you gotta work it somehow, some way, right? Because that's how Hard Knocks is so good. Is because when you go watch a bad team, you want to see if they really turn it around. Like if they really, you locked in. Oh man, he yelling at everybody. Oh man, this is good. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, right? But it's entertainment at the end of the day. And the thing for me that I've always taken, LeVar Ball said something. He's like, they asked is like, is there pressure for your sons and stuff like that? He said it's basketball, it's entertainment.
I think can I piggyback off like of something you said, like that's the best time to shoot. I kid you not, that Grambling State game in Vegas, it was tough to watch what was happening towards the end. Just they were just driving down the field, and then all of a sudden T said get hurt. Like, because we captured it. I'm never gonna put it out. If he wants it, he can have it. But just telling them like to keep shooting, because you just never know when we're never gonna get that moment back. So that can easily be your resume, like putting a documentary style like thriller, and then showcasing like, okay, this is what Grambling State did to us, and then and just kind of give you detail. Like we all saw the injury, but like I captured the moment. Another student captured the moment, but he also captured like the ambulance coming in, the mom, the coaches, like all that. That's still good to kind of keep going to tell a story. So like that, obviously I told him like that's gonna be tough, but you still gotta stay professional.
Yeah.
Like everything that you do, you're never gonna get that moment back. So I don't want you to look back and say, dang, I wish I would have got that shot. Well, you were sitting right there. No point in you stop shooting. You got plenty of battery and memory cards. So I keep shooting.
But I think the same thing with you, Austin, going, and I know we playing a little tennis or whatever, but the Celebration Bowl loss, right? Like you take, like y'all shooting the confetti coming down and everything, like all that, like it made it so now when you did win the championship, it was a part of the story. You see what I'm saying? Like all those things equal up to get to, again, like Austin said, it's all a part of the story. But you have to be okay with the bad part. Like you can't just be like, oh, forget it, right? Like if A&M turns it around this year, which we will, right? When we turn it around, you gotta tell the 4 and 7 in the trials and getting there to show how it turned around. It all equals up to the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think we're all just looking for the emotional investment. Trying to find ways to have the fans, the parents, the team in itself to have that emotional investment, to be willing to tell that story, because again, we live in a day of social media and everybody always wants the perfect story. Yeah. They want to put out the perfect clips. They want to put out the perfect angle. And the way social media is moving, they want the real story. They don't want the bits and slices anymore. We've seen enough of that. We've had enough. It looked good. It looked cool. Now I want to know the real you, the real athlete. What's your real struggle? Are you really in the gym? Are you really like that? Tell me your backstory. Why should I come see you? And I think that's the bridge that kind of needs that we're looking for to fill. And I think that's the storyline that I feel like the fans want too. They want something to talk about. They want to have something to talk about in the barbershops. They want to have something to talk about at church at the end of the church service. Are you going? Are you going? Were you there? Were you there? And the more we keep building on the emotional connection and the psychological connection of the brands, right? What is most of the time the consumer has a story pipeline to the school. It's how can we take all of these little pipeline stories to connect it to today, to where grandma feels like can tell like her story is being heard in today's player. The student story is heard in today's player. And for me, I would love to see the athletes take on the challenge of, hey, I represent my class. I go to class. I see these people in my class. I go to class with some really cool people. I went to, you know what? I'm doing it for y'all. Y'all come to my games. Y'all come see me. I would love to see the athletes also take on that type of emotional investment as well too. And I think those storylines will come would bleed together a little bit better.
Yeah. That leads to something else I want to talk about, and we kind of have talked about it. Brand recognition. This morning, I kid you not, this morning I was no, I'm sorry, it was yesterday, last night. I was looking at like HBCU band videos, and there was this guy in London, and he was literally just breaking down, like looking at different bands, Southern, but he pulled up Tuskegee Ball and Parlay, and he played like the first intro of it, and he just stopped. He was like, "What is this song? What is this song?" Y'all know the accent. I ain't got the Idris Elba on, but you know, he was just asking, and then he like started playing the video, and you could see like the recognition on his face, like his eyes and stuff, and it's just like that not band, but the brand recognition. Dre, you talked about it, the catchphrases and stuff like that. You work with somebody who has probably the biggest brand recognition that I know of in Coach Thornton in HBCU. People say diva coach or any version of that. Everybody automatically knows, because I hear it all the time, that coach in HBCU or A&M coach. Talk about being able to work with somebody like that, and also I'm coming to you because you've had it on the other side as well. Being able to work with somebody with that kind of brand recognition, and how you can use that to build upon what you're already trying to do.
It's thank you for asking me that question. It's actually amazing to watch, right? Because she has her unique way of pulling people in. She's gonna grab your attention. She's going to talk to you like she knows you. She's going to embrace you. Embrace you in saying thank you and hey, thank you for coming out. As soon as she came as a coach, I saw something that she did that was immediately different. Right after the game, all the players went to the courtside seats to say thank you for coming. And I was like, that right there is dope, because now the player is interacting with someone who may be on the back end invested in their overall future, right? And the fact that they can personally win or lost, both parties can interact and say, you know what, good job. Hey, we were still here. That interaction, I believe, is really big. And that's what brought the brand together in so many ways, because again, the community felt invested. The community felt like that if they did something, if they cheered louder, if they supported Coach, if they shared her video, if they did anything on and off the court with the coach's name on it, with Alabama A&M's name on it, they felt like the overall team, it would help the overall team win. And the fact that she just came in and pushed that message, she didn't do it lightly. It wasn't, hey, are you going to like me? It's, I'm here. I'm your new coach. Here's what I want to do for you. But here's also what I need from you as well. So she created a give and take relationship. And I feel it took a second for the community to catch on. But once they caught on, they got her back. You know what I'm saying? They're not letting her go. Hey, where you at? When is the next game? I can't go nowhere in the city right now to where they're not talking about the women's basketball. Hey, when is the next game? They've been keeping up with who she's recruited. Hey, man, have you seen them? Have you been to the school yet? I'm like, nah, I like to take a break just like y'all, because, again, I'm the bridge. So if I hang around them too much, then I can feel a little bit too faculty-ish to the players. I don't want to feel like that, because I'm there for the players. I'm there for the students. But if I'm away too much, then I'm not, I don't know what's going on. Then I'm not in tune with the community. So I take what the community is saying. Then I also hear what the players are saying. And then because I'm privileged to have some conversations with Scotty and things of that nature, I'm able to put together my branding. So I'm able to put together my slogans that matches the big energy. She brings the big energy. She's going to come out. She has her entrance. So I know when I speak about Coach, hey, I can't come light. hey, y'all gotta match me. Hey, I'm matching her. Y'all gotta match me, and the team is gonna match y'all. The louder y'all get, the harder the team is gonna play. And as soon as the team responds to the coach, because the coach may not go light on the team, but as soon as the team responds, I let the fans know, hey, this is your moment to congratulate the team. Give them a round of applause. Let them know you know what they just did. So it's been amazing to see how she has branded A&M basketball, has brought the community in, and is continuing to grow it to where the community is now invested in it.
Yeah, Austin, like I said, yeah, I know you kind of worked in the, I'll let you go ahead.
I think it's okay. So TC's first year, I think it was really like a challenge. Not to say it was a challenge for like, well, kind of a challenge for him to start to understand like social media is going to be like the thing that drives you to recruiting. And so, TC don't speak much, but when he do speak, like people start paying attention. I think that's his style. And then he'll let me just like create, but that's also like he's standing behind that too. So this idea of like identity for the coach, I think is very important. I think what Coach Thorne has done is like great for A&M, and I think she's carrying over her energy from her previous school at UAPB to A&M, and I think that, and even actually, you know what? Even working with Tamika, like I worked with Tamika during like the tournament times. Like anytime I could get a chance to like go shoot for her, like that's what I did. And so just seeing the two dynamics from even with Tamika and TC, I think they're very different, but they're both vocal when they actually do speak. And I think that having an identity with your coach and then also being engaged on social media is definitely going to help. Because again, like this stuff is contagious. Y'all already know how rabid our fans is. Like don't talk about Jack State, Scotty. And I think did I see it's another guy in the chat that I just saw. I think Crook, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he JSU #1 enemy. He on that list. And so like you see what I'm saying? Like when people get behind their coach, I think that's when you bring amazing things. And I think that every coach in the SWAC, whether it's baseball, softball, bowling, tennis, like everybody needs to be super engaged on social media, because there's a lot of coaches that I've seen and they don't talk at all. They think that, oh, I'm just gonna reach out to the recruiter or to these players, and that's it. I don't have to have no presence on social media, nothing. But you probably gonna get an upgrade on players just by engaging on social media, because they don't want a boring coach. I think we're getting out of that age where like the coaches are gonna have to start adapting to what these players want to see. They want to see TC turn up in the locker room. That's why we put that stuff out there. Like I'll give you an example. We I forgot who we just played, but it was like a thriller game. I think, as a matter of fact, when we beat FAMU, that championship run, we beat FAMU at the Vet, we got more clicks TC walking off the field, entering the locker room, and turning over the players than we did like a B-roll clip of TC or something of the game. And so that right there, that's what the fans want to see. They want to see them turn over the players. The players in Oregon, Nebraska, Idaho, like if they want to see like who TC Taylor is, all they have to do is see a clip of him turning over the players. And I think that's the most important thing, to kind of like engage with the community, engage with your fan base. And I think that Coach Thorne is a really good example of that.
Man, I love what you're preaching, Austin, and it's having your coach have an identity, not a blank slate. Like a lot of coaches, you know nothing about. You just don't know anything about them. Like if you saw him on the street, you'd be like, "Who do you coach for?" Like, and it's not to say that I need to know everything about you, but there's parts of social media that just shows your personality, how you might coach, how you like you say, interact with the players. I remember when Willie was at FAMU, and he had it's a viral clip that goes around where he got like a grill in and he's wearing a chain. Like, he's Florida through and through, and he's connecting with those players. So people who are from Florida, they're like, oh, that's a Florida coach. He gets it, right? So to me, it's when Tamika or Dawn had her own brand, and now she's associating that brand with Alabama A&M, and they're both benefiting off each other, right? Because A&M has great basketball facilities, has a really good basketball pedigree, and Dawn has a great profile, so it's all being uplifted. But the thing for me, and I've been telling Dante, I'm like, Dante, you just as exciting. Like, when I watch him practice, he be at practice. He'll do the drill. He'll jump. He'll block. Like, he'll be the body to block the ball, and he'll do all that stuff. He'll get down. Like, I'll be like, Dante, people want to see that stuff. Like, they want to see you be you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little things like that where I 100% agree with Austin that coaches have to show a bit of themselves. It's not that you need a camera 24/7 following you around, but people want to get bits and pieces of who you are and what type of coach you are. Because again, when things get tough, people have to know that you're capable of bringing it. That's how you don't get fired. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you don't get fired. So if I've seen enough of you that you coach hard or you care or you're passionate, I'll give you some grace. Maybe he gonna get it right. Maybe he gonna do this. Maybe he gonna do that. But if I don't know nothing about you, I ain't seen nothing about you, get this Bemo out of here, fire him, and let's move on to the next. That's how people move.
That's why people love Connell Maynard so much.
Because he was entertaining.
Yeah.
He was a walking headline, and it was good, bad, or indifferent. The Bama could go 5-7 and still be entertaining.
When he got up there barking at the press,
we got some. It's what it is, man. He told Dion, "Hey, Dion, you got one of them scooters that I can borrow?" Like, that's entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Tremaine Jackson, I kid you, at Southern homecoming in the rain, when the reporter was asking him a question, and he said, "Happy homecoming." Man, listen. You can't. That's the stuff. I promise you. I'm with you. Some of the best stories, for instance, Nick Saban. Everybody, saying what the best things you hear about Nick Saban are stuff you hear from the players, the behind the scenes stuff. That's what you love to hear. The matter of fact, the viral clip where the kid was mocking him and imitating him in the locker room.
White boy, yeah.
The white, that used to be my neighbor up here. That's the funny thing about. Well, I'm sorry, that's my neighbor's brother. He was my neighbor's brother. So to know him and then to hear that story is hilarious because I know he's telling the truth. I know, but
think about Tremaine Jackson's. When he sung the song in the pre, like that went crazy. Land of the purple. Me and my wife, when we go to Atlanta, we like, gotta get there. Like, we say it all the time when we about to go to Atlanta. We were like, gotta get there. That's how catchy, and that's how, like, when I talked to Tremaine about it, he said it was just some random thing he did just to keep the energy high for a 6 a.m. practice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hate how catchy that was.
Listen,
I hate how catchy that was.
Yeah. If any of my people out there, if you're a veteran, if you are army, you've heard fake motivation is still motivation.
Motivation, yes, sir.
Yeah. Look, Barry, my bad. Go ahead, Barry.
I was off the cuff for a second. I was just gonna say earlier when you were talking about the guy from England or wherever he was from who listening to Modern Parlay. I was gonna say, bro, that's our cheat code. Like, we are the most African Americans are the most influential people on the planet. So I really just feel like a lot of times we just have to tap into that. And in previous schools that I worked with, it used to be the older people who didn't want you to really tap into it. They would kind of reel you back in because they were the ones who were giving the money. You know what I mean? But now with us coming along, I think they see the importance of this new age. Like, you have to move from there to here where we are now. So like I say, I think everybody here is doing a great job at that. And like I say, man, we the most influential people on the planet, man.
Yeah.
So we just got to do our thing for real, for real.
I'm glad you said that. That leads to the next topic, the full experience. Because when you go to a SWAC game of any sort, you're not just going to watch a football game or a basketball game. You're going to hear the band. You're going to see the cheerleaders. I got a homeboy now that say, he said, every time I turn to a HBC, he said, they just stopped the game and started stepping in the end zone. He said, I can't even watch football game. I think he was talking about South Carolina State.
They good for that. They good for that.
So that full experience though, that full body experience of a game. Dre, I know because you are a part of that experience. Just talk about, if you could, some of the aspects of that.
Oh man, there's a lot of things that come into bringing in the game experience. There's so many levels that people can immerse in. But one thing I like that Alabama A&M has created, as soon as you get into the atmosphere, you feel it. You know it's game day. You feel game day pulling into the parking lot, and I feel like that's a huge step in itself. Everyone can't wait to get out the car. I'm not lingering at the house. I'm not waiting to halftime. I'm not waiting. It's like, nah, the gates just opened. Let me get on campus. Let me just be in the atmosphere. Let me just see the whole warm up. Let me see the whole. And I feel like that's really dope because it allows the fans to build their own anticipation. It allows them to be able to tell their own story while being at the game. And the fact that I'm in their ear, I want them to be full. I don't want them to thinking about no food. I don't want them to think about nothing. When it's time for the game, I want them to have their popcorn in hand. I want them to have their drink in hand. I want them to make sure they have every single thing so they can, when the kickoff is or the national anthem, I don't want them to miss nothing because who knows? We may have a moment in the national anthem. We don't know what's going to happen at the national anthem. That may be a moment in itself. Or the team may do something really dope. The hype video that the fans have never seen, it may be a new drop. The media team may say, hey, let's surprise them for this game. Let's do something different. We ain't, there are so many things that happen before that first kickoff, within that first 20 minutes, 40 minutes, that builds the whole anticipation for the games. And talking to players, sometimes they like it. They feel the anticipation. They feel the atmosphere. And it kind of helps them lock in, knowing that people are here already. They know how big this game is. So they come in and want to come out to perform even better for the people that has come to the game, that is already at the game or been at the game. So I just try to create the atmosphere of, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for investing in the brand. Because without you, this product that you're excited about would probably not be here, and you are a part of this product. So I just try to bridge that gap without people knowing it and just make them feel like they're at home.
Yeah.
And I want to jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
You know me, I gotta be devil's advocate. I apologize. I know this is black positivity, but a lot of times the one thing, listen, what Dre said and what we've all experienced, there's nothing like ball and parlay. There's nothing like when Jackson got them pom-poms flying. Listen, it's nothing like it across the board. But sometimes I feel like our fans don't understand that it is not a concert. It's they're a part of the experience, and they lose that sometimes, right? Where I agree. I need you to be more involved in the game. It's not like a comedy show where you come here to make me laugh, right? Like they be like, haha, and they sit there. Fans have to be more involved in the game. That's the only knock I will say about HBCU games.
All right, so let me piggyback on that one. I like the fact that you said that one. I think that's a good relationship for the bands and fans to build, right? Because you have at least, let me just throw a rough number out there. Let's just say 50% of the fans are out there for the band. And then you probably got another 50% that's out there for the sport. Now, out of that 50% that's out there for the sport, who really knows about the sport for real, for real? I don't know. We can't say, so we have to tell them, in my opinion, we have to tell them what they're watching, what's going on in some aspects. But again, I would love to see the band also kind of become the catapult to the fan and the field, to create the chant sometimes, to start off the defenses sometimes, to say, hey, we're your engine. Now repeat after us, to do the call and responses. I feel if the bands create that connection, the fans will be so locked into the game because the band is on third down. Let's go. They hitting that, when that touchdown hit, they know the fanfare is coming up. Pom-poms go crazy. I just feel, in my opinion, if the bands kind of built that relationship with the fans and did those things, I think you would see what you want to see when it comes to the cheering, Scotty.
I think. I was gonna say. I think this. We always talk about like what can we do better for the next year, and I think I got a kid that's gonna be really really good for us. He does like a lot of motion graphics, and so what I kind of talked to him about is I need you to create motion graphics to like engage with the crowd. So that's number one that I'm gonna add to this year experience. But I'm also gonna like talk to Dr. Little with the boom and figure out how can I communicate with you when we need something like from y'all, or like just like getting the band going or anything of that nature. Like these are things that like I gotta figure out like what is the link that we need to do in order to communicate all together. Because there be time I go back to the FAMU game when they came to us and played us. It was dead. It was like dead. It was dead for like the first quarter because we was going back and forth. It was still a tight game, but it was like a period where it was dead. But then the moment we started getting stuff going, it started rocking. Like it just happened just like that. It was almost like a clap. And then everybody just started rocking. Like the momentum swung. Mm-hmm. The players was getting after the quarterback. It was a sack fumble for a touchdown that gave us the lead. Came back, they fumbled again, scored again. Like that whole momentum swing is because the fans got into it. And so that's like the most important thing that we have to do, because that's our secret weapon. I tell that to everybody else. The boom is our secret weapon when they're with us, and you can tell the difference when they're into it. And y'all know when our crowd gets going at the vet.
Listen, I was at the SWAC championship game, and I told Prairie View fans, I said, the biggest thing you want to do in this game is take Jackson State fans out of it. If you get them down, they're gonna be sitting on their hands. They ain't gonna say nothing. It's literally a neutral field at that point. But if they get going, you're gonna lose, because it's a wave of just like you see them pom-poms flying. You like, this ain't going well. This just ain't going well for us, right? So, but again, my thing is, and I'm piggybacking off Austin and Dre, and I want to hear what you guys say, B, for Tuskegee, because I can only imagine what that atmosphere is like. But just you gotta fight. Like for fans, they gotta understand that your fandom don't turn out on when a touchdown happens. Like you just can't. Like that's what it seems like. It's like a big play. Where you at? Where you go? Right? Like it can't be circumstantial. Like you do something for me to like you gotta be involved like day one in it. Like, and how Dre does is like we stand up until they score in basketball, right? Like you gotta be engaged. Like it's just little things like that. So, but you know, B, I would love to hear how they bring it in into Tuskegee. I know that drink is crazy.
Yeah, you know the shed. Yeah, when that's our draw, the student body. When the student body's under the shed and they rocking, I mean, the sidelines. I mean, the sidelines rocking. I mean, it's crazy. Then, yeah. And homecoming, homecoming, we're the only stadium in the country where you can actually tailgate inside the stadium.
I heard.
So like, once you come through the gates, you basically see all the tents and stuff. So they up there grilling and stuff. They inside the stadium, tailgating. So you got a good 40, 50,000 and I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's that emotional connection, man. We just need that emotional connection with the fans telling that story.
And I hate to do it. But it's the Scotty in me, right? When it's when in Rome, do as Romans do, right? So like if I was going to a Central Florida game and I'm at their stadium, I'm a jump. Why? Because they do that jump. They everybody. So you gonna be the only Bama standing just looking at everybody? No, you're not. You're going to jump. That's just part of it is. So but when you go to an HBCU game and you're the person, let's go defense, and then everybody else looking at you like you crazy. Now you there like, oh, you know what?
Hey, I'm still gonna do it with hard. Because they gonna hear me.
You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've been that dude in the stands like let's make some noise, and then everybody be like, man, sit your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's just different. But again, like we all have experienced, the atmosphere is unmatched. You can't match it. It's just the whole embodiment of the pageantry around the game is undeniable, right? But that game experience, it gotta elevate. If it elevates, then whatever. You can't compete.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So D-Lob asked this question, and I don't think we should limit it to SWAC. He says, should we alter SWAC rules for the band? He says, maybe not horns, maybe no horns, but drums can do whatever they want. LOL. I don't think we need to stop it at the SWAC. I think all HBCUs. I don't care who.
Difference? Explain to me and I say this all the time, and people be like, "Oh, that's a good point." What's the difference of 100,000 people screaming and yelling, and you can't hear, other than Southern and Jackson having a band battle in the stands, and you can't hear? What's the difference?
It's just oh my bad. Sorry.
I mean, you have a real argument because the sound barrier is still a sound barrier. It's still playing in the key, right? The voices are still in the key, the band is still in the key. So you definitely have a point there. I just think it's an effect on like a whistle. If a band at the end of the band fanfares, the screaming aspect of it or those things, I think that's kind of what kind of touched that needle with the challenges and stuff like that and the screaming thing. If you take that out of it, you have a great argument. No screaming, no stuff like that. You got an argument.
I hear you. I understand. 2022, Alabama LSU. I was at that game. That's the loudest stadium I've ever been in. They call it Death Valley. It's really Death Valley. Loud as you can't hear the people next to you. There is, and I understand about the horns and stuff. You still can't hear on the field. Either way. I mean, you really can't. Like the only way play stop, the referees are waving their arms and stuff. And up close, you can, you know what I'm saying, you may be able to hear a whistle and stuff, but you see the hands waving and stuff. That's literally the only way you know. I have been at games at A&M where they've been playing and the referees will say the band stopped playing.
Right.
But that's usually because the visiting band is not there yet. As soon as the visiting band come in, they really don't say much. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say they stopped some of our games and won't allow you to play. While the opposing team is on offense. But to me, at the end of the day, it's football. So for me personally, you're supposed to watch the ball anyway. The only two people that need to hit on the field is the quarterback and the center. Once the center know the count, like to me, everybody else is watching the ball. So I mean, I personally don't have a problem with it. And I don't know too many coaches that. Well, I mean, when you're at Jackson State, you can't hear. I mean, But still, again, but I mean, again, it goes back to football. That's what you practice. That's what you practice for.
Yeah, and I think yeah, I'm torn because logistically I understand like, all right, y'all calm down. But I don't want to tell I don't want to tell the band to calm down because that's their thing. Who am I to say that? Now, the beautiful thing about it is I'm sitting over there on the sideline like I'm shooting and like they're just, the team is just standing up getting ready for next play and I hear bun like just like them going back and forth. I love that because that's the culture that we're trying to actually sell. And I think I don't want to take that away from like what's going on because you can't get that nowhere else. Now, when I went to Mississippi State, I got cowbells, so like I understand. Like it was loud.
Mhm.
It's loud. They doing this all like before the play snaps.
And we can't even
Like
have
and then
cowbell.
as soon as the play snap, it's over with. So
Yeah.
I don't want
And
to
we
take
can't even have a cowbell. We can't even do that. We can't. We can't have
Yeah, so
cowbell.
it's like
So
that's our cowbell. Like I feel like the band culture and like going
Right.
back and forth. I think that's our cowbell. But I do understand like they might have to start cutting it at the play. But I mean, again, who am I to say take that advantage away from us? The band.
Yeah. So I don't.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like
that's a good argument. That's a good argument.
I'm glad you brought that up about Mississippi State. And Ant says that it's the artificial noise. I think that's the difference. I don't know if y'all remember, or if y'all old enough to remember, uh, when they made the rule about no artificial noise and stuff like that. Mississippi State had to get an exception because of the cowbells being the tradition and stuff.
Yeah.
They had to get an exception for that. I don't know if people remember that. So they literally used to play, you know what I'm saying, DJs, all kinds of stuff. And every stadium used to be loud than a mother. Before, you know what I'm saying, during play, and then they brought up it was a safety issue. But yeah.
It's no different than Penn State playing I got and everybody all
Hey, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite moments to be seeing.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right.
I've been in the bowl. I've been by the bowl in Jackson in the Boombox Classic, and standing there on the field and hearing Southern and it's nothing like it. It's really nothing like it. And to me, if I was a head coach, to me that's college football, right? When I'm practicing, I got to tell my players, hey, you're going to be in an environment you won't be able to hear because the bands are going to be battling in the stands. It's no different than what Pew said about if I'm going to Alabama and I'm playing if I'm going to Death Valley or if I'm going to Penn State, we got to be like this. You know what I'm saying? We doing hand signals because we know it's going to be loud. And I feel like when I talk to old HBCU alums, they said in the 90s, the bands, there was no limits. It was let it ride.
Yeah.
In the early 90s and early 2000s, right? So, and that's when you go back and watch those clips, it's pandemonium in the stands because the band, as Dre said earlier, it's the catalyst to get people off their feet and get involved in the game. And that's what works for us. So to take that away from us, to me, I feel like that's a disservice to what we are and what we bring to the game. Because if Jackson was able to play all game, and if Southern was able to play all game, and if Alabama State and FAMU was able to play all game, it would be pandemonium in the stadium. And I feel like that's an avenue we're missing.
I'll tell you another thing, because this is going to lead into my next. If you build it, they will come. If you could have where the bands can be more engaging and play, that's going to get people to want to come to the games more, to be a part of what they see. Mm-hmm. That's going to get, instead of me saying I could just sit here and watch this, let me go to the game so I can listen. I will. If you ask me to sit down and watch a Major League Baseball game, we're going to have to fight, because I'm not finna sit there and watch a Major League Baseball game all day. But if you take me to the stadium, I will go experience it at the stadium because it's a completely different feeling.
Yeah.
I will sit there and watch a football game But going to, and I may turn it off. I'm not going to be as engaged. If you got something to keep me engaged, and I'm that's why I would rather go to the game, because that feeling, like y'all talked about, and I've been saying I'm gonna do this, but I get so excited when I get to the stadium. When I get to pull up at Louis Cruz, I forget all what I said I was gonna do. I got metal glasses. I keep saying I'm going to capture what it's like to walk into the stadium, to watch, and what I'm saying, to give that perspective. But I always forget to do, because literally I get so excited. The feeling you get when you're walking in, and you see first, you see, see the people tailgating. You see the dog pound, the kennel community.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the school president, you got the athletic director, you got the basketball coaches, the basketball team, the student section line dancing. You see all this at this game. And the game hadn't even started yet. And then the band coming down the hill. That feeling that you get, I promise you, it is unlike anything. And I just wish for a second we could capture a lot more of that on TV and bring a lot more butts to seats. But like I said, I want to get to if you build it, they will come. And I mentioned like the kennel community. I think brilliant idea. And I'm gonna talk to Dr. Brian about that, because that idea was so just, I don't know, revolutionary to have that engagement, to bring a few more people, saying that much closer to the field and stuff. The pregame show, because I know a lot of schools are starting to do stuff like that. Baron, the lights at Tuskegee, that was first. I want to, because I haven't talked to you about this. I talked to you before it happened. That first night with the lights. Please just take me through that.
Oh, man, it was crazy. I mean, it was basically homecoming 2.0. I mean, you're talking about the first, because I mean, when you think about it, like the reason we had already had the lights a year prior, but you got to think about being in Tuskegee, we didn't have lights around the whole campus, like enough lights around the whole campus where people would feel safe coming to the campus. And I don't know if y'all ever been to Tuskegee, but
yeah,
I mean, it's literally 2 roads, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the school. So man, it was just crazy. And like I say, the kids, man, that's the biggest thing. Like once you have the student body involved, and to be honest with y'all, like I think I'm finna tap into the communications department with the school and start letting them come up with ideas, and then we collectively shoot things to get them more engaged, because I need them to share the stuff. You know what I mean? Like I need the student body, and I need them to start sharing the stuff that we're putting out. And I think that that's going to, one, put more butts in the seat, and 2, entice the alums to spend a little bit more money, or donate more, or want to come back home to Tuskegee. So man, it's a lot of things. To go right back to what you just said about going to a baseball game. With us personally, I think things like that, like t-shirt giveaways during timeouts, or having somebody on the mic, having an MC. I know they do it at Magic City Classic now. They started a few years ago, where having somebody. I think things like that are things that we probably would like to explore to help with engaging with the people who come out to the games.
Yeah. Any other, and I brought that up. We got creatives on the show right now, so I'm asking, because another reason why I want to do this show, I want to talk about these experiences, but I also want the hope that somebody would see this and be inspired to take it to their school and boost their atmosphere. What are some things that y'all would like to see, say at your respective schools, or schools that you visit, or saying, hey, I've gone to this school and I would love to see blank? I know that's giving the enemy ammo. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
It's not that. It's not that, because I think they kind of know, but maybe somebody else needs to say it. I love. Okay, all right, dang. I'm probably about to get in trouble for this one. I actually love.
Ain't no chill on this show.
Alcorn's atmosphere when we come down there and play them. That is crazy. Like when they get to going, when they fan base get to going, they start doing this. I'm like, all right, because I remember 2 years ago, like I was like, dang, like this is because this is my first. That was my first time. Well, not my first time, because I think my first time going to Alcorn was when Travis Hunter caught that touchdown in the corner. Yeah, just like that was my first time, because like at that time I was actually recording the lead up to like TC being the head coach and stuff like that. So that was my first time experiencing that. And I think when TC's second year when we went down there, that the atmosphere was just electrifying as it was then. So like just them like getting in, like engaging into that. I think they need to really lock in and like sell that atmosphere, because Alcorn's fans do to come out to them games now. It might not be nothing else to do out there. They gonna come out to them games.
Facts.
And the fanfare,
great fan.
Right. They gonna cook. It's gonna be a big barbecue out there. It's basically like a family reunion because everybody know everybody. And so to be honest with you, I want Alcorn to really kind of like take a step further and sell their culture down there, because I think that will help out just with getting players down there too. So we can go down a list. Like I do like Alabama State's Rowdies fans too. Like they be on 10. Like it just like when we come down there, they be on 10. Yeah. It's like that's like exciting as a creator. That's exciting because I'm like people talking noise, camera. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna use that when we beat y'all. And I'm gonna be like, okay, yep, clip him. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do all that. Like y'all might not think that I'm not shooting, but my students know what to do, especially in timeouts. Look at the crowd, who's engaged and who ain't, and it kind of go from there. Like, I got a lot of sound bites from different games just for fan engagement, and even our own fans is gonna show out too for the away games. But I do like how at the end of the day, I think all SWAC fans do have like I think they all have a superpower. You know, you got your Batmans, you got your Supermans, like you got all those, but like I think everybody brings something different to the table. And I think that's the beauty of like some of our fans when it comes time for just engaging. But I like coming to other people's schools and kind of enjoying that. Now, there's one school I don't want to go to. But because we gotta get some get back. But I want to go down there to get some get back. But
my Prairie View,
I definitely kind of like was like, do I really want to go there? But I've never been down there, so it will be good to kind of like see what the atmosphere is like.
I was gonna say real quick, one thing for me is like the business side of it. I like the fact that even when Alabama State had Jackson State come for homecoming that year after everything had happened, like for me, it was a business decision. Like, I mean, so moving more, they knew that they were gonna sell it out. They knew they was gonna pack it out. So I like the fact, yeah, it was crazy. Like I like the fact that they put big schools. Like we've gone away from putting cupcakes on the schedule for the most part. Yeah. Like they're putting teams on there who they could actually lose to, but they're putting butts in the seats. And you know, homecoming used to just be, hey, put Mississippi Valley on there and come on. But now, you know what I'm saying? They're actually on the business side. And like for me, signage. Like I feel like we don't do a good job at putting a lot of signage out, or at least, you know, like sometimes you're driving in and you may have people with flags all the way down the street while you coming. Like I think it's things like that would entice the fans to, you know, do a little bit more. So other than that, like I say, those are like two of the things that I have. But other than that, man, I mean, like I say, HBCU culture is unrivaled. You know, you think about how LSU stole net from Southern, and how now people really think that it's LSU tradition. Yeah. Like we've been playing that since the 90s. I know since I've been around. So, you know, it's just
my 2 cents, and I've been on this for the last 4 years. HBCU football needs its own college game day. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm
I
gonna keep
agree.
it there, and I'm done with it because I don't want nobody to take my idea like this guy over here because he got all this production. He got all these production. You know what I'm saying? But no, because we have enough classics, we have enough big games, we have enough moments, we have enough brands to really sell it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there's enough storylines to what's the difference between college game day getting behind the helmet of the starting quarterback or the starting running back? We could do the same thing, right? Like a kid who's a third generation Alabama A&M alum, and you're telling the story of man, and my dad, my mom met my dad here, and my grandfather graduated. Like those are stories that people want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's a person like, hey, my mom and my dad, we had it rough. Our house got hit by a tornado, and we moved in with my grandmother, and then Jackson State was the only school that offered me, and I'm just glad to be here. Like there are stories underneath these helmets that people need to know and hear and resonate with, but our athletes aren't given the same opportunities, even though they're putting their bodies on the line the same way. They're getting degrees from these institutions. They're entertaining just all the same, right? So for me, that is the mountain that I'm going to die on. I'm gonna plant my flag there that HBCU football deserves its own college game day version in the offseason.
So I'm glad you said that.
Oh,
I like that hill that you on, Scotty. I like that hill that you on, man. That's spot on, brother. That's spot on, brother.
I was gonna say, do y'all think that it should be for each school though? Like if Jackson State did a pregame show, it'd be Rob J because Rob J funny, and I would definitely put Rob J up there.
See, I look at it like, go ahead, up here.
No, I'm gonna tell you. So I love what you're saying. We have enough HBCU creatives where you've got, like you said, a Rob J from the Hill podcast. God, I'm blank. The ONG Strike Zone. You've got these guys that you literally can have these guys at the stadium, live cuts, talk about the games coming up. You know what I'm saying? Have somebody central, talking about the games, go live cut to the games and stuff, hear the bands play, or you know what I'm saying, cut to the field, pregame, you know what I'm saying, storyline of the day. This is what's going boom, 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 boom. And
got that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you went out for a second.
You gotta have it about that subject.
The mic out.
All I heard was
I read that.
It's big facts.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a phenomenal idea, man. I think it's in place. The structure is in place. We just it's gotta be executed.
For us, always. I just want to say, nah, Scotty, you that is a hell of a mountain to die on, man. Because you're right. All of that needs to happen. All of that needs to happen. I'm glad that we're starting to get more visible when it comes to HBCU sports and showing what our athletes can do and how great our athletes are. I just wish we would have more departmental partnerships, right? I wish we would actually hone in on our resources, right? Instead of trying to say where is the resources, what about what we do have, right? Why can't we hone in on the system, building the system of the internships of holding weight, holding true weight, that 2-year experience. Hey, sign this contract to be a part of the media team. This is your job, pay or no pay. We may be able to give you a stipend here and there, but this is your 2-year duty for this credential. If you're in media, hey, you have to go work with the football team, go find the team, go see what they need to do. I feel like it has to be a have to instead of, hey, can you come help? I would love to see those type of partnerships to where we can maximize our resources because we're good at maximizing, right? And then I think if we start maximizing what we have, we would then see how much more we actually could give or could get because we're worth so much because the creativity comes through us literally. And I feel like the world is just waiting for us to come up with the next big thing, right? So it can take on this aspect of what media looks like, what sports look like, what this next bridge is between all the schools, because it's an equal playing field if we pay attention to it. But how do you build your network? How do you build your brand? How do you build your investors, the investments? How is the community bought in, the city bought in, the state bought in? These type of elements. How are we capitalizing on these things? Because I believe we have the leverage in the spaces. But sometimes I don't think we take our time in developing the true resources that we already have. So I feel like if we take our time to actually own in what we have, let's build it up, make it the system, make it the product in itself, and then add it on to what we have. I think we will have our own system to where we wouldn't even want to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So that's
yeah. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna run. This Miss Faye put a comment, says media marketing and journalism. I think there is a way that it's the same thing Dre said, those interdepartmental connections, right? To where, yes, we are individuals, but understand to promote HBCU football, we all have communication departments, we all have journalism majors.
Yes.
The SWAC could be its own version of ESPN with its own version of reporters, with its own version of journalists, with its own version of media, with its own version of game day atmospheres and game day shows, right? So you could really turn your brand into its own entity. And I think in using what we already have and kids already on board, you're just building resumes, you're building opportunities, and you're giving opportunities in different ways. But I absolutely agree with you, Dre. B, it was nice to meet you, man. Dre, I'll see you around in Austin as always, man. I appreciate
I gotta come hang out with you soon, man. I got to.
Yeah. You always know. And Pooh, man, I appreciate you for the invite, bro. I got these kids, bro.
I know.
Next me up a storm, like, okay, you had your fun. Like,
all right. But hey, thank you again for coming through, fam. I'll see you next time.
All right, buddy.
True, what I'm saying, if we can get ready to wrap up, but go ahead, feel free. You know what I'm saying? Gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through. Phenomenal conversation tonight. I want to say that I couldn't have thought of, like I said, 4 more appropriate, I guess is for lack of better words, gentlemen, to have this conversation with. A lot of great dialogue. Shameless plug. Monday, June 1st, we will start our season previews. We're gonna go ahead and get ready for people to start line, y'all. Who gonna lie first? We got North Carolina A&T, we got Hampton, we got Tennessee State on deck. Y'all already know how it is. Everybody going 12-0, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody, 2 teams play each other the same week, and both of them gonna win. Somebody lying. But like I said, I thank y'all so much for coming through, having this conversation. I hope this has helped somebody understand that at least my goal, I want to build.
Yeah.
I want to build. I grew up, my dad went to UAPB. So I knew about HBCUs. I didn't necessarily know a lot. All my aunts, uncles went to Dillard, cousins went to Jackson State, Tuskegee, North Carolina A&T. So I knew those schools. I knew, about it. But when it came time for me to graduate, they weren't even on my mind. And here I am now as a father, and I'm back in school at A&M, and I make sure my son goes to a game every week if we can. As a matter of fact, he's begging me to go. Dre, no, he be excited to get there, mainly because he want to go to that press box and eat. But that's a different story. But I want to make sure that our story is out there and that kids know, because a different world is so much for so many people. And that's just, you know what I'm saying, being able to tell the story. We don't necessarily have a different world now, but we got, you know what I'm saying, some of the best creatives in the world. We got one of the best MCs I've ever met. To be able to hype a crowd, to get everybody going, and to show those visions. So I hope this show has done enough to at least, you know, welcome those conversations and get some schools to, you know what I'm saying, make moves. Because like y'all talking about those media, you know, and those communications, I literally have been saying, why aren't students running your social media? There is nobody who knows social media better than these kids in school. I mean, I've seen it's Baron and Austin. No offense to the great jobs y'all do, but I've seen some people do some stuff on TikTok. I'm like, how in the world did you ever put put this video together like this on TikTok with an iPhone? Matter of fact, it's an old iPhone that's got cracks all over the screen because they can't, afford to get another one. Y'all know what I'm talking about too.
Nah, they come out some dope stuff. Yeah, you're right.
I promise you,
right.
my students be teaching me the stuff every day. I'm like, how? I'm like, all right,
Why-
go get me some football content.
Exactly.
We do a little tickety talk, whatever, and we post it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So my question is, why aren't they running? So there's no reason for your school. I don't care what school you are. I don't care what level. There's no reason for you to have updated your social media in I don't know how long.
Consistency.
It's no reason.
It's consistent.
It's no reason.
Like, because sometimes you'll have the kids, they'll come for like 2 or 3 weeks and then they might fall
Yeah.
off. So once you start something, you just have to continue doing it. So that's all it really is, for real, for me personally.
No, I think you're right. I think that's how it is around the board, which is why I was saying there has to be some system built for accountability, because they need the hours, they want the resume, all of that type of stuff. But are you going to be dedicated? And I think that's where the system of mentorship and partnership and those type of things can be built to where they can see the importance of it. Because being in my space, man, media is so huge in sports spaces, and it's the minute media that's very important now, right? Like you were saying, the crowd engagement is almost the new ticket now. It's almost the new atmosphere selling. Yeah, I need clips of the crowd. I need clips of the players. I need all these things, and I feel like sometimes the student eye is a good eye, but I don't feel like sometimes they don't feel like they're worth it. They don't feel like they're important. And if we build that bridge, I feel like we can go somewhere.
Yeah, this another general right here. This Khalil Stewart guy over at Alabama State.
Yeah,
my dog.
Hey, kudos to you, bro. I swear, I love every time he posts something. It's always just every time I see something from Alabama State, I'm like, damn, Khalil doing a good, he doing his thing over there. So, shout out to him, man. If y'all, if y'all not following, go check him out.
Can I piggyback? Can I add on to? Okay, so there's 2 parts to this. Number one, trying to get the students to buy in to the resume, and I'll give you a great example. Like I be on my kids' butt because at the end of the day, y'all are a representation of me. I'm a representation of TC and this brand. So if you, it goes back to my first statement on this show. If you give a damn, somebody is going to see that now. And I'll give you a great example. And it kind of goes back to what we joked about earlier. So I've been with Jackson State since 2023. I've been doing all this work. Everybody knows, like, my first video with Jackson State was "We're Gonna Be All Right." That video is one of the reasons why I was at the Met Gala with Dwayne Wade. And so, and to kind of keep telling my students, like, you never know who's gonna be watching. I ended up shooting the Met Gala. Dwayne Wade's cool. I met Gabrielle Union. She's cool. They both cool. Even got the invite to come back to shoot it again. And so
Let's go.
got
Let's
all this on
go.
record. I ain't posted this out yet, but like, but it's like the 10,000 hours that you put in those are the results you're gonna get, because it got to the
Amen.
point where like he just like, I like his eye. I want to fly him, a photographer, out. I'm gonna pay for his flight, hotel, and pay him for his time.
Ooh, that boy got
And so-
flued out. That boy got flued out.
So it's like anything that you're doing, what you put out, you gotta care. You gotta care, and you gotta put it at the highest quality possible. And so, yes, it's long hours. Yes, we're getting up early. Yes, we're leaving late, or whatever the case may be. But you gotta like care. And so, and the second part to this topic, I think every sport needs to understand, you need to, in order to this for this to work, every sport needs their own student worker that just focus in on softball, focus in on baseball, focus in on basketball. Don't go shoot anything else. But somebody needs to also be there to train them, because there's a lot of students that don't know anything. Like one of my students, she never did videography. Now she's doing it because she just been up under my umbrella. But I told her, like, I can train you. I just need you to care, show up. I need you to do these things. And so we've been slowly building to where I believe I can trust her now, because she's just outworking a lot of people. And so if you apply that to each sport, then athletics is going to look at it and they're going to be like, okay, well, we need to create this system. Or it helps out the SID, like a Khalil, to help him be like, hey, do you have this shot? Oh, we're going to use this for season tickets. Oh, do you have this shot? Oh, we're going to use this for marketing or whatever. But and then on top of that, when you have that foundation, and then athletics decides like, okay, we're going to create our own creative media department. That's when you bring the big dogs, and then you have like your fall sports, you have your spring sports, you have 2 videographers for fall, 2 photographers for fall, and then vice versa for the spring. And then you have a Khalil who would oversee everything. And then you have a graphic designer that does everything. You just gotta lock in, because all that is like revenue that you can generate for your own department. And then when we start talking about NIL, we start talking about facility upgrades and stuff like that. When a big brand is gonna be like, well, why would I give you money? Oh, well, their media team gonna give us a lot of exposure, and the culture is gonna like spark up just like that. Oh yeah, because I can count on my. Well, I can't. But every time we post a boom video, it just skyrockets, because everybody is like trying to pay attention to the boom. Like I had an iPhone clip of them coming up the ramp. It hit over 1 million views. How? It's just crazy how like just like the small things can go boost up engagement, but people are engaged into our culture. So again, you just gotta invest into the foundation, and that would be contagious to the athletic department. And then everybody would be locked in, be like, oh, well, we need to get this media thing going, blah, 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 blah.
Yes. I 100% agree, man. 100% agree.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I was trying to get y'all out here to start preaching, and you know how that go. Y'all know how that go. Start preaching, and choir start singing again.
We got a whole nother sermon coming. Have a whole nother sermon coming.
Will there be another? But man, before we go, like I said, man, I from the bottom of my heart, and I couldn't be here. Power issues because of the storm. So he couldn't be here, but on behalf of No Chill Sports HBCU Hour, thank you guys for bringing this here, helping me bring my vision to light to enlighten the people. Before y'all go, please, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all time. Tell the people if you're working on something special, if you got any last words or anything, and I'm gonna go in order I see. So my man Dre, you know what I'm saying, tell the people where they can find you, and if you're working on anything special.
What's up, family and friends? As you know, Dre Labordi, go by Dre the Voice. You can follow me at Dre the Voice on all social media outlets, DRAYTHEVOICE. Man, I just want to give a call to action, man. My call to action is support, 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 support. You are the investor. You are the investor. Invest in your team. Invest in your school. If you have a story pipeline in an HBCU school, I don't care what the story is. If you have a story pipeline, invest in this season and tell your story at every single game. Document yourself at the game. Tell your story, but make sure you invest in HBCU sports.
All right. My man Baron.
Oh man, the only thing I'm really working on right now is like I said, I'm just kind of preparing for the season, really. So I'm kind of in discovery mode, learning new tactics, learning how to edit different stuff, and just like I said, trying to get better every day for real. But you can follow me on social media. I'm more active on Instagram. And it's Baron_624, and that's all I got.
All right. And my man Austin ASAP Visuals.
I am currently working on a very, very, very special project. I don't want to give too much details out because there's still some stuff that need to be ironed out. But I'm excited about the upcoming season. I'm excited about Swag Media Day. I'm excited about the first game. I'm excited about the Alabama State game. Like, it's so many storylines going on. And I think that this year, like, I think you're going to see a different side of swag football. I think you're going to see it elevate and take another step further, just in terms of competition. Because I think there's really a lot of really good teams out there. And I think that everybody just needs to continue to pay attention, continue to support their school. And, if you do like Jack State, go Tigers. If you don't, go Tigers.
Hey, that's real. That's real. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on Monday. I can't wait till Sweat Media Day too. Oh my goodness. I'm already y'all just don't I have been trying to think of I got two of them already. Every year, I try to find like one or two questions that I can ask every coach that's not football related, just to see the random reactions. I got a question I've been wanting to ask TC for 2 years. 2 years. But when you win a championship, you don't have to talk to everybody. Y'all ain't win one. I might talk to them this year.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
But nah, man, nah. Coach TC is always. You know what I'm saying? He always a real one. He'll come holler at you and stuff. But nah, I really do got a question I've been wanting to ask him for like 2 years. But I'm thinking of these questions that I'm gonna hit him up with one just random.
Okay, I got
What's
you.
your
I'm
favorite?
gonna set that up. I'm gonna make sure that right there, that table over there, right there. I got you.
Yeah. But like I said, we'll be back on Monday. I'm gonna tell y'all, Dave. I don't know if he watching. Dave gonna be on representing North Carolina A&T. He say anything more than 3 wins, he lying. All right, y'all. We gonna go ahead and get up out of here. We gonna go ahead. All right, man. But till next time. We out.